Hello, welcome back to another video exposing Jaggi Vasudev Sadhguru guy, and this video he exposed himself as charlatan and conman, and he was asked a very simple question. Instead of answering it, he goes on a rampage of disparaging the person who asked that question. It's a very simple question. He doesn't say he doesn't understand, or he's not even trying to answer the question. He just start away. He just start disparaging the person who asked it, and not just he's mocking and trying to humiliate the person who asked the question, but he also taught nonsense about science and all the crap he usually throw out using the scientific jargon and say, oh, science means nothing, blah, blah, blah. It's typical stuff. So it's fun. I guarantee you. If someone who doesn't have a scientific background, and they won't notice it, but what he typically does when anything he asked, he used the scientific jargon, scientific words, and use Sanskrit's words and words from Vedas and other typical Indian mythological stories, and he just mixed it up, and that usually sounds something like he knows a lot for common people. But he talks in gibberish nonsense. That's what he always does. And while he gives those talks, he also throw out some lame, dumb jokes. That's how he does any interview. So look at this one. This one, it's so obvious. All you have to do is listen to him and focus on what he tried to do, instead of let him allow you to steal your thoughts and focus somewhere else. So just try to focus what he is trying to say, instead of just blindly follow him. Okay, let's see. Jaggi, what do you got now? Tell me.
Back to the point which you brought up about the belief, can you tell a little bit more about what's the difference between belief and faith?
You're trying to gather more information.
As much as I can in 1 hour.
That is the biggest problem. You can gather as much as you want.
See, the question was very simple. So the person is asking, what's the difference between belief and faith? It's a very simple question. If he's that mystic person who's very religiously or mystically fervent person, and all the religious mystical philosopher he claimed to be, he should know the answer for this. What's the difference between belief and faith, right? You think so? He never answers it.
You could, if you gather a lot, you will become fat. But you will not feel enhanced. The only thing that every life is seeking is to enhance itself to its fullest possible level. Whether you take a worm or an insect or a bird or a tree, all of them want to become full-fledged life. Only problem is, we know what is a full-fledged worm, we know what is a full-fledged insect, we know what is a full-fledged tree, but we don't know what is a full-fledged human being.
Okay. So, he's not going anywhere near to that question. What's the difference between belief and faith? He started with, you want to know more. That's the problem. He trying to humiliate the person. Why you are asking me a question? You shouldn't ask me a question. That's how he trying to do it. Like, Okay, let's follow what he's trying to say. So, what is the every life trying to be full-fledged? What? Enhanced, 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 enhanced. What that's supposed to mean? Like enhance means making it better, or that's what common people know. But in science, that's different meaning. A reaction has been enhanced by introduction of catalyst. So you mean that whatever the reaction is happening, that is proportionally increased by introduction of something. That enhance, that's the kind of meaning in science. But in general, for common population, typical dictionary meaning is enhance, make it better or big. So, but what a worm trying to enhance it, what that means. Every worm, every animal trying to enhance it. What trying to grow bigger? Trying to enlarge into something more bigger and bigger? What that mean? Like, he kind of thinks animal means bad character, a worm means bad character, and humans means we don't know what that is. That's how it sounds like. What he's saying is, oh, worm, we know worm trying to enhance itself, trying to full-fledged enhance. It's like, does he know what's the meaning of the word full-fledged? So fledging is the word used in biology, especially in zoology, to describe the small birds that come, hatched birds that's not able to fly right away, but half-fledged, so they can just flapping their wings, but they can't fly. But there are some birds, chicks, but fly right away, so they are called full-fledged. The one that cannot fly but they try to flap, they are half-fledged. So in common words, people use full-fledged means fully developed. So what is fully developed in animal or worm means? What fully developed to being a worm? Does he knows the answer? He's just again randomly throwing at the words. Well, we don't know what full-fledged human means. Full-fledged human means, and like nobody is started to design a human and say, this human has half-fledged or full-fledged. No, we don't know. No, we are evolved from our previous genus and species, and us as a human, this is not a stop. So the evolution process is going to continue. It's been happening past 4 billion years on this earth. So there's no need to define or figure out what so-called full-fledged human means. We humans live and die and procreate, and we survive and live, and so that part of the evolution is our intelligence. So we're trying to know and know not only about oneself and ourself, our species, but our world around us, and even the universe itself. So it doesn't mean we have to know, we should know, we can't know, none of those. We are product of evolution and we are living it. That's all it means. But he just simply throw in, we don't know what human full-fledged means, enhanced means. It's just mumbo jumbo.
Now you think by acquiring more and more. I don't know what information you gathered, but by acquiring more and more, you will not become more. It has not happened, isn't it? People thought by acquiring money, by acquiring wealth, by acquiring knowledge, they will become more. They have not become more. They're still hankering for the same things. So, by acquiring more information, you will not become enhanced. It is just that if you approach information sensibly, you will become more hungry. If you approach information as a way of projecting yourself as better than somebody else, then you will think you have attained to something.
Okay. the question was, what's the difference between belief and faith? It's a very valid and good question, right? And probably not many people thought about it, but philosophers did, and it's a valid question. Does he even try to answer it? Now he talks about you trying to gather more information, you trying to know more and more, and he compares that to like the human desire for having more wealth and happiness are so the typical in our life that we compare, like morally compare to our way of desire and way of living. So what that has to do with knowledge. He kind of comparing knowledge and knowing. That's a part of us, what makes us human, because we are wired to know and learn. The worm, the animal he's talked about, they are not wired, they are not evolved, their nervous system, brains system were not evolved to have a consciousness. So that's why they couldn't understand and think and learn and know more, but we can. That's why who we are. But he's saying that's exactly not who we are. We shouldn't know more. And he compares that to the desire. Some of the people uncontrolled desire for more wealth and wealth. And if a poor person attain wealth, he's not going to probably stop there, and he wants to attain wealth, more wealth. He thinks that's equivalent to knowing, or the desire for knowing or knowledge. What an idiot. He's not stopping there. He's going to keep going. Now he's going to turn into science.
This is what happens by acquiring information. Only in comparison it's valuable. If you have certain level of information, you need somebody around you who doesn't know it for you to be looking smart. Yes. Today it's become a fashion. Before they go to a dinner party, they will Google out that galaxy Z67, how many million light years is it? So when you go to a dinner party, just like that casually you throw around, you know the galaxy Z67, it is you know how many light years, this many light years. Who the hell cares? Because we don't even know in our experience what is a light year.
Okay, before we go into the light year part, do you see what he did? So still the question was not answered. What's the difference between belief and faith? Still he hasn't answered it. And now he's saying that people trying to know more so they can go to a party and impress others. So the only reason people have this desire, innate nature, or to know or learn something is so they can pretend in front of others they know more. So from since ancient times, all the philosophers and scientists and all the human beings, and even long before the Stone Age, even those our human ancestor in those caves, they looked at the stars, they looked at the moon, they looked at the sun, they couldn't understand it. Still, they made paintings with whatever the plant or whatever they had it, and they made a painting in those caves. Those all the desire, the innate, the nature of human to know about things around us and know about who we are. That's knowing more. That's what the knowing more is. That's what makes us who we are, who human. And this guy, this moron idiot, saying that nature of knowing more, the desire within every human, knowing more is just so we can pretend in front of others that we know more than other people. We can go to party and tell, we know more. What an idiot. We don't Google ZZZ planet to know. The scientists did not know ZZZ universe, so they can go to party and tell the light it's a light year. That's not before they know about a lot of stuff. They were learning before scientists know about the galaxy and light year. They were learning different things. So these are in the scientific methodology. It's evolved from from the previous knowledge. So it's not just modern scientific methodology. It's common in all human society and civilization. So that's what we start learning different types of numbering systems. So it all started with the numbering system before we went into galaxies and light years. So this guy, see, he now he disparaging people. In essence, he is disparaging science. But does he answer the question? What's the difference between belief and faith? What's the difference between belief and faith, Jaggi, Sadhguru, Vasudev? Did you answer it? No, you did not answer it. What an idiot. What an idiot.
It is only a mathematical calculation. It is not really anybody's experience. There is no human being on this planet, past or present, who's ever experienced a light year. There's no such thing. It is only a mathematic calculation to somehow come to terms with the immeasurable dimensions of the existence. We try to somehow quantify it so that it comes into our understanding, but nothing comes into our understanding. As science explores more and more, it is only getting more confounded. The only reason why science is surviving is because it's throwing out useful technologies on the side.
Okay, before you go into the technology part, let's summarize what he's been doing so far. Still, he hasn't answered what's the difference between belief and science. What's the difference between belief and science? No, he doesn't know. Now it's very clear, he has no clue whatsoever. And now he talks about no one knows light year, and it means nothing. That's what he's saying. It's just a mathematical calculation. It's just a calculation, as if it's just some people, scientists in some university sat down and wrote like a poem. They thought about how I feel, so I can write it in a number. As if mathematical calculation doesn't have any logic. Probably he doesn't know what logic means anyway. So the mathematics is a language of nature, that it's inherent to the nature, including us and everything, from living being and non-living things in universe, planets, everything. It's all have naturally in it, mathematics. But the language mathematics we use is we design to understand the inherent mathematics within the nature. So if you give our mathematics number and equation to an animal or a planet or a soil, it's nothing going to understand any of those. That's for us. But we use that language to understand the nature. So we can, us human, communicate with each other. It's a good language. So, but it's derived from the nature. It's not somewhere sprang up or somewhere. So we have a number, right? Decimal system. We can draw with different way, but universally accepted is 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 to 9, right? If you draw a different way, it doesn't make that there's another 10 numbers exist. No. If one day gorilla or other chimpanzees evolve and have a higher brain capacity or thinking and intelligent and conscious mind, that could come with a different way to represent the same decimal system, but it's still same decimal system. This is still same 10 number system. So it exists in nature. They're going to still count one tree as a one tree, two tree as a two tree, one apple, two apple, three. It's the same thing. They can say different way, they can use different way, like how we all civilization and different country and different culture use different language, but still we talk about same. The thoughts are same, but the language may be different. So it's not just some random or some just a mathematical calculation. They are nature, that's derived from the nature. It's not some, it's like a scientist, not a poet, then he inspired something and just wrote it down. They are real, and it's measurable. And you may not experience light year by yourself, but you don't know because you are a dumb guy. But as a humanity, we do experience the light here. So we are able to understand how fast the light travels, and we are able to understand that if the light travels for 1 year, how far it will go. The same calculation helps us to understand when the solar flares occurs in sun, how long it take to reach us, and it's perfectly predictable. And we see it, and it travels at that speed, and the same calculations gives us, and all of a sudden we can predict auroras, and also we set down our satellites to protect it. So these are all part of it. You don't have to travel 1 light year to understand light year. We already know, understand how it works, and we even experience it. It takes 8 minutes 20 seconds for a light to come to us from sun. So these are all real, and it's part of nature. It's not what the hell someone no one knows crap. He's a total stupid and idiot. What else you got?
If that was not there, science is far more confused in 100 years of exploration than it ever was before. But that's a good sign.
Wait. What do you mean science is far more confused than 100 years, last 100 years? What that even means? Like, we are scientists, and as a humanity, we are excited that the more we learn, that we could understand more, and there's a different way what's our limitations are. So, for example, like we look at the atoms, because how we know? We look at it because the photon has to come from it. But when you project a photon onto an electron, we can't predict its exact position and momentum, because the electron going to react with the photon, so its position and momentum will be changed. So those are limitations as who we are, humans. But is there some way that there's something like a photon has a consciousness and the electron has a consciousness, and it itself speaks to one another, then you will know the momentum and the position. So, but that's not, we are not photon and electron, so we are made of them. So those are the limitations. So those are not confusions. Those are, we understand nature and our limitation. See, he just say, oh, we are more confused. What the hell is he talking about? What that even means? Idiot. Okay, what else?
If they had made stupid conclusions, there would be one more religion. Science is confounded today. The top physicists in the world are saying, we not only do not know, we know we will never know. This is a good sign, because this means your intelligence will remain on an explorative mode all the time, on an active mode, not in a sleep mode. So when the top scientists declare we will not know, it is not a hopeless situation, it is a great situation that people have come to this that they understand if you go through physical means, it doesn't matter how much you explore, it'll go on endlessly. How much information you have, you will not get any better, you will get only more burdened by this.
Okay, so now he disparaged science, like, oh, they're more confused and they didn't know more. And what the hell is talking about? When physicists and scientists talk about we may not know ever. What they're talking about is how the universe existed before the Big Bang, because we are all made from the stuff up to the Big Bang. So when the Big Bang goes, if you go back in time, then the time doesn't exist. So we cannot. So all the things we know from now is based on what we observe. So when everything got together, then there's nothing to observe. We may not know that. Just like you throw the photon on an electron and you cannot predict it, because that's our limitation. So those are the limitation. If you have something like some particle that's subatomic particle, then that can go travel back into before Big Bang, then we might know. But that's not who we are. That's what scientists talk about. But he just simply throwing out stuff. They never know. You will never be in a sleep mode. It's total nonsense. This stupid guy.
Things will happen on the side, technologies will come, iPhone will become 7, 8, 12, all right? But still, the way you talk to people is not going to change. What you say will not change. Your relationships will not change. Technology can go through the ceiling, but nothing of you will be enhanced. So…
Wait. So, let's go back. So what was the question? The question was, what's the difference between belief and faith? Did he answer the question so far? So far he focused on you trying to know more. You'll never know more. You never stop knowing more. It's bad, like the desire to have more wealth. And scientists, they themselves saying they will never know and you'll never know. What has anything to do with the answer for the difference between belief and faith? And he's saying the science is only relevant because it throws out technology, and it throws out iPhone 7 to 12. Does he even know the technology comes from science? All this technology is talking about phones and iPhone 7 to 12. Those are based on quantum mechanics. What do you think the electronics, use of electronics come from? Like, it's all goes back to the 1900s. That's when the start of quantum mechanics came, after Einstein's theory. Actually, on the quantum, the derivation of the term quanta. So a lot of things we use technology, it's because we understood the nature. The understanding nature is what science is all about. And he's saying it's without technology, science means nothing. Science is only used for technology, and it means nothing. What is he talking about? We learned about our nature, including us human, other life. It's not just iPhone. Science is not just iPhone. What an idiot.
So, more information is not going to help. All I want you to take, the takeaway for you, because you want to take away something. The takeaway for you is, if you truly, genuinely, it's not simply a thought, allow this to sink into you in the next few days, that if you pay attention to anything, a leaf, a flower, water, people, dog, animals, anything, If you pay enough attention to anything around you, even the closest people around you, if you pay enough attention to them, you will see you don't know a damn thing about anything. On the surface, you seem to know everything, but if you pay sufficient attention, you don't know a thing about anything.
So, still he hasn't answered anything. He blaming you trying to know more. Now you say, you don't know anything about anything and you just pretending you know everything. Just talk about yourself. You don't know nothing about the plant around you. Scientists still long way to go to learn more about including the plant and everything. But that doesn't mean we didn't know anything now compared to 100 years or 1,000 years or 2,000, 3,000 years ago. We learn a lot and more than few thousand years ago. So that's what helps us now, helps now 8 billion people on this planet to survive. Otherwise we wouldn't survive. Those germs and the bacteria, fungus would have killed a lot of us, a lot of human beings. The same science help us to produce a lot of food than normally we could. Those are the same science that helps us to survive. Without germ theory, a lot of people would have died. The population wouldn't be 8 billion people on this planet Earth. Without science, the human population wouldn't survive for this long, for this many people. He's just an idiot. He's just comparing, oh, science is nothing and it's just used for technology, iPhone. What a stupid idiot. So for science, it's not about one person. It's not about one, whether you know or not. It's a collective. It's a collective person, not just a living person, but the person, the scientists and people who worked hard before us. So that's the knowledge it's just like a culture. We have methodology to give it to the new generation and they carry on. That's how we came so far. So those who understand science, they know more than you, certainly you Jaggi, Vasudev, Sadhguru, Jaggi, they know more than you because they may not personally learn by themselves, they learn collectively as a human society and civilization. So don't blame others and don't pretend you are the idiot. You know nothing. You know damn nothing about anything. You can't even answer a question. Simple question, what's the difference between belief and faith? And you are lecturing the whole scientific methodology and community and human being, this human civilization. They don't damn nothing about anything. You know nothing and you are just an idiot. You are just a stupid moron who knows less than a high schooler. That damn stupid you are. Oh, what an idiot this guy is.
Knowledge is a very limited sphere of life. Ignorance is boundless. Enjoy that.
Yes, ignorance boundless. Yeah, that's why people worship you. Otherwise, people wouldn't worship you. Knowledge is limit within what the nature provides us, but that doesn't stop who we are. What makes us human is trying to understand in the world around us. That's part who we are. That's how the brain developed. So we use that brain and that knowledge to learn more. So that's what makes who we are, human. Otherwise, we would be a rock or a worm or animal, something else. We evolved to have the knowledge, and we have the nervous system, that brain, to learn more. It's not about one person. It's never about one person know about everything. That's you made that up. That's what you think. Something called, some entity called God, who knows everything and everywhere. So that's a myth. That's never been part of the nature. Nature is never about anything, one thing, one entity, or one person, or one thing. Nature is all part of all. It's like a society. Human society works. So in especially in science, we learn knowledge and as a collective, and that's how we know it. But you couldn't even understand that, and you don't even know that knowledge. And you just stupidly saying science is only what for spitting out technology and iPhone. What an idiot. You are a dumb moron idiot. Okay, did you answer the question? What's the difference between faith and belief? You never answered it, did you? You have no idea, did you? You're a clueless moron, did you? Oh gosh, how do people listen to this guy? What kind of idiot this guy is? Okay, let me try and watch this video. Jaggi, you Jaggi moron, Vasudev, Sadhguru, idiot. You are an idiot, right? Do you even know that? Gosh. Okay, so what's the difference between belief and faith? So there's a different way to approach this, right? Common people have some understanding of the common word we use. Belief means people have some understanding, but not all common people going to say the same thing. But that's not how it works in academics. So philosophers thought about this. And there's a field called epistemology. So that talks about the knowledge, what we know, how we know it. So in philosophy, what belief is, it's an attitude about the world or concept or something, some proposition, whether it's true or not. So it's kind of like a two. If you have belief, it means you have an attitude about something that is true or not. So you can say, I believe in God, and yeah, it is true, or it is not true. That's what in philosophically it's an attitude about the world around us, whether it's true or not. But what about faith? Faith is different. Let's go to the root of the word. The faith, it comes from the Latin word fides. What that means is it's a trust or confidence in a person or a concept or institution. So it's kind of like a belief in something and you trust it. So the belief it's an attitude about something true or false. Faith is you have a belief or trust in the doctrine. Maybe it might be confusing for ordinary people. So the belief is only two state. Either it could be true or false. But trust, belief. But faith is the confidence and trust. So people have a faith in science or even religion or God, anything. Because not everyone can be scientists. If you don't study and understand science, it's hard for you to understand and reason with it. So that's why you may be just a believer, like a religious believer. But that doesn't mean science is not true. It's like religion. So in order to understand science, you have to learn and reason. So that's why not everyone can be scientist. There's a reason why everyone is not an Olympic gold medalist. There's a reason why everyone's getting Nobel Prize. But everyone can believer in God. Everyone can trust moron like you, Jaggi, you Sadhguru moron idiot. People have a faith in you. They trust you to know because you throwing out meaningless words. Belief, that people have a belief in you as you are telling the truth, telling the correct answer, and others are not. So those are two states. So that's the difference between belief and faith. And did you answer it? Did you even try it? So for the question, what did you do? You blame the person who asked the question, saying you're trying to know more, knowing more is bad. If if that's a if that's a statement you are making, if that's what you really believe in, why do people giving you a lot of money and you sitting here and telling and giving lecture, and you have some crappy things built all over the world, institution called Isha Yoga Foundation, and what are you giving them? Are they knowing more? Why don't you lecture them? Knowing more is bad. So why don't you go shut up and live your life? Don't come and give me money. Why don't you tell that? Why you have this institution and they come and listen to you? Why you have all these lecture are, it's not even lecture, it's just a meaningless gibberish sermon you are giving. So they can know? What an idiot. Do you know how stupid you are? That's your life. You saying you know more, you are Adiyogi and you learn more than the people who reason in science. And you're telling them, the people who are giving you money, and certainly you want their money. And so you're telling them what you learned from Adiyogi and all the Vedas, and so they know more. But when you don't know the answer for the question, what's the difference between belief and faith, you are trying to humiliate and tell them, shut up, basically. That's what you're trying to say. And saying, oh, no more is bad. Knowing more is bad. You think, oh gosh, what kind of a idiot you are? You think people will notice you? Maybe the whole reason you talk about all this no more everything is because you don't know the answer. And this is what you always do. You just throw out words, you pick scientific jargons like energy, impulse, momentum, all those things. Then use Sanskrit words and words from the Vedas and Puranas, and you mix it up. And people who just work in some court clerical office, or who just go on a manufacturing work, or some bus driver or conductor, or someone who make food, or dosa, or sambar, they wouldn't understand that. When you throw out these things, oh, they think, oh, you're a genius. You know, you are really Adiyogi. You know everything. So the scientists are stupid. You are the real deal. You're the Veda yogi, Adiyogi, all those crap. But those who learn and understand, they'll know you are a charlatan. You're a con man. You're a stupid moron idiot. You don't even know what high school students know. That's kind of a dumb moron you are, Sadhguru Yogi. Stop believing this guy. He's an idiot. Gosh. All right, I had to calm down. Right. Okay, you see what happened, what he did? So stop worshiping this guy. He's a con man. Instead of go and listen to this guy, just if you're really interested knowing about stars and planets, light year, just to learn, take a science books, and there are different authors who teach easily, even if you missed out in your school days. There are watch some scientists. They give documentary, and you can watch them, but not this guy. This guy knows nothing about science. Yeah, but if you are the guy who already made up your mind that it's all in Vedas and Puranas and the science people are stupid, but I'm going to use their iPhone anyway, and you are welcome to do it. But don't argue that this guy said Jaggi Vasudev Sadhguru guy is some super Adiyogi genius. He's a con man, he's an idiot. He wants your money, that's all. He wants your money and you're going to give it to him. That's all. Damn it. Damn it.